Okay, so you're probably in your 30s or in your 40s and you figured it's time for a career change. Only what else could you do, right? Well, I've got a list of the 10 best jobs for a midlife career change that don't require you to waste precious time and money on another degree. These are all options that are easy to get started and they pay decently. Keep in mind that these jobs are all for different interests and different experiences. So make sure to stick around till the end, even if the first or second option is not for you. Let's get started. Number 1 is yoga instructor. Now, this is definitely a job of the future, with the demand increasing by the day. More and more people want to practice yoga, and that means we need more instructors. Now, the great thing about being a yoga instructor is that it's really flexible. You get to choose your own hours most of the time. It depends a bit if you're employed or if you're independent, but most of the time you can choose when you'd like to give your lessons. And it's also easy to start on the side. To get started, you need to complete a 200-hour training that you can either do in the evenings or you can do it just in one go on a 1-month getaway in India. The average income for yoga instructors is about $60,000 per year. Now keep in mind that this is only from training, but if you build your yoga practice as your own business, you can definitely scale that up and then also sell your own digital products, e-courses, e-books, or workshops. In terms of qualifications, you're not legally required to get any training or have any qualifications. However, most yoga studios will require you to have the 200-hour training completed in order to get hired. The next job on the list is personal trainer. Now, this is another job of the future that is in very high demand because people want to get more and more healthy and want to watch their weight and generally want to become fit, so that means more trainers are required. If you're passionate about working out and would love to help others get fit as well, this might be the perfect job for you. In order to get started, you'll usually have to go through a 80 to 100 hour program that you'll take in a self-paced manner over the course of 3 or 4 months. After that, you'll either be employed by your local gym or you can start your own business and find your own clients. Again, this is a highly scalable job or business, as you'll also be able to sell courses, ebooks, workshops, or things like that. As an independent personal trainer, you'll make about $62,000 a year. Now, this can go much higher if you're a private personal trainer, and that basically just means that you have your own business. So, as I've mentioned before, this is just from training people in a direct manner, maybe one-on-one or in a group. But then you also have the options to scale up and offer workshops or group trainings where you get to take on much more people at once or get to help a lot more people with the same amount of time, and this means you get to make much more income. This again isn't a regulated field, which means that you don't need any specific certification to be a personal trainer. However, since you could harm your client seriously if you give the wrong advice, I highly recommend getting a certificate or a training before you get started. Number 3 is wedding planner. Now, this is a great option for all the creatives among you. So if you love decorating and planning and organizing, and maybe you've already organized one of your friends' weddings, this might be the perfect job for you. As a wedding planner, you'll probably be self-employed or have your own business, which makes it a perfect choice to start on the side of your day job. So you can just take on your first few clients in the evenings or on the weekends. Weddings often happen on the weekends anyway, so you have that spare time that you can use for your side business. In terms of income, the average wedding planner makes about $44,000 per year. This can go way up to about $120,000 per year. Your income will depend on a lot of factors though. Since it is client-based, it depends on what clients you're serving. Are they high-end or just your average Joe? But also other factors like the location, for instance, will matter as well. In terms of qualifications, again, you don't need any. However, there is something called the Wedding Planner School, which is where you learn all the ins and outs of how to organize and plan a wedding. Number 4 is life coach. Now, this is the absolute best choice for a midlife career change in my humble opinion. We all coach others from time to time. You know why? If someone asks you for advice, a friend or a colleague, and you can actually help them, then you coach them. So if you can help your friends, your colleagues, and your family, then you can also help strangers. So you already have the coaching gene in you. Now, being a coach is certainly something rather suited for people who enjoy working with people directly. Depending on what kind of coaching you offer, you'll get a very deep insight in a person's personality, and it can be pretty intense and sometimes even exhausting. So you really have to love helping people and love listening to their stories. Now, the average income for a life coach is about $70,000 a year. However, I know coaches who make much more than that. So it all depends on how you set up your business. And theoretically, you could also be employed by a company, but that's very rare. Most coaches have their own business and are self-employed. And then it really depends on if you only offer one-on-one service or if you also offer group coachings and maybe courses. And it depends on how your pricing structure works. So this way you'd literally be able to make 6 figures, multiple 6 figures, or even 7 figures. In terms of qualifications, this again is an unregulated field. So you can get a coaching certificate, but it's not mandatory. What I would rather recommend is to get a course that teaches you how to build a coaching business so that you know how to get your first few clients and how to set up your business. Number 5 is social media manager. So social media manager is probably the best freelancing job to get started with. You don't need a whole lot of skills, and the ones that you need you can easily pick up on the side of your day job. As a social media manager, you can either be employed by a company and manage their whole social media presence, or you'll be self-employed and have different clients where you manage their social media presence. So you'll usually be in charge of all of their social media accounts over different platforms, and you'll get to grow their brand online and engage with lots of customers. So if you manage to amass a large amount of followers on any given social media platform and you love organizing and creating the content, then social media manager might be the perfect job for you. So as a social media manager, you'll earn an average of $48,000 to $63,000 per year. If you have your own agency, you can hire other managers that will help you so that you can attract more clients and have a higher income. Also, for this job, you don't need any specific certification or training. So the best way to get started is probably to just go where your potential clients are. So this might be Facebook groups or just playing Google, YouTube, and then start looking for people who you could help. The next one is being an online teacher. Now, as an online teacher, you can teach any skill. It doesn't have to be a specific language. It can just be whatever you're good at. So this is a great way to start a second career. To get started, you can literally just take your skill and go onto platforms like Skillshare or Udemy, create your courses, and see what resonates with people. In terms of income, there is a whole wide variety. So it largely depends on what you're teaching and on what platform. So if we're just taking English teaching on a third-party platform, then you're gonna get started at a rather low income of $25,000 a year. But then if you go on to Skillshare or Udemy and you have very successful courses, then you'll easily be in the 6 figures per year. And from there, you could take it even one step further, which is having a course on your own platform where you get to keep almost 100% of the profit, which makes your income incredibly scalable. Now again, you don't need any qualifications. If you plan on teaching English, then most schools will require you to have a bachelor's degree or any other English certificate to get started with, but that's about it. Number 7 is web developer. If you're more interested in the technical side of things and you're not afraid to learn some basic coding, web developer might be the job for you. Web developers normally build the layout of websites, and they might also write some content like the homepage or the about page. Now, the great thing about this job is that it's obviously in very high demand. It's in fact increasing by the day. Even the smallest company or entrepreneur has a website, and most of them need help, which is where you come into play. Now, this work is mostly project-based, as you'll finish one website and then move on to the next. So you're likely gonna have a few clients, and once you finish the project for the first client, you go on to the next. And even if you're employed at a company as their web developer, they'll always give you a project, most likely. You finish it and then the next one comes on. Web developers are pretty well paid. So the average income is around $70,000, $75,000 per year. Also, as a web developer, you don't need any specific qualifications. So you can just self-teach the skills online in courses or boot camps, then get your first client and build your portfolio. Number 8 is writer. If writing is your passion, there are many ways you can make money with it. Maybe you won't write your bestseller right off the bat, but there are many other options to make a viable income. A few of them are being a ghostwriter for a blog, being a copywriter, writing your own blog and monetizing it, or writing your own ebooks. In terms of income, it's pretty hard to say as there are so many options and it's a really wide range income-wise. But if you get started as a freelancer, I would say the average is probably making about $30,000 a year. So that would be if you're ghostwriting for a blog and you're working about 40 hours per week at about $20 per hour. Now, some of the other options I've mentioned will pay much better. So for instance, copywriters usually make much more because the projects are bigger and also they need more skills. And then when it comes to monetizing your blog, you can literally make millions if you just make it big enough. Again, you don't need any specific qualifications to be a writer. You can basically just start your own blog or ebook and start writing. The next one is business consultant. Now, this is another great job for a career change because you get to take your skills of your previous job and now pass it on to your own clients. So you'll usually be self-employed or start your own business, but you could technically also be employed by one of the big 4 consultancy firms. Now, if you do the latter, it might be stressful at times. However, it's definitely a very exciting and varied kind of work. And if you have your own clients, you get to choose your own hours and what kind of work you take on, so it's much more flexible as well. In terms of income, the average business consultant makes about $70,000 a year. And when it comes to qualifications, so this is the first one where we actually need some qualifications. So you'll usually need a bachelor's degree or higher education to become a business consultant. And if you think about it, that actually makes sense as your clients bring you on board if they struggle in their business. So they want someone who really knows their stuff. However, if you plan on starting your own business, your own consultancy business, then there are obviously no certifications or no diplomas required. So you basically just need to get started and get your first testimonials that will help you get established in the space. And the last one on our list is Realtor. Real estate agents often start out in a different career, so you'll be in good company with other career changers. As a real estate agent, you'll basically complete a real estate deal behind the scenes. So you'll basically be connecting the buyer with the seller and make the deal happen as smooth as possible. The average realtor makes about $86,000 per year, although top real estate agents can make way over 6 figures. In order to become a real estate agent, you need to get your real estate license, but other than that, there aren't any other requirements. Okay, so now you know the 10 best jobs for a midlife career change. Which is your choice? Let me know in the comments down below. If you'd like to go through this list again at your own pace, I've linked the corresponding article down below that I've referenced throughout the video, so make sure to click that and go through it step by step. If you like this video, hit the like button down below, share it with your friends, and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!